Hello, this is the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Thank you so much for tuning into this video in which we will look at using some index laws to prove others. So let's look at this question here. We're going to use the division index law to prove that anything not 0 to the power of 0 is equal to 1. So when we're asked to prove something, we can't just give an example with numbers, because that would show that it only works for that example. We can't just let A be 2. We have to use some algebra here. So let's start by thinking, how could we use the division index law to get something that looks like A to the power of 0? Well, we know from the division index law, if we have A to the power of B divided by itself, we keep the same base and subtract the powers. B minus B is 0. But we also know that anything divided by itself is 1 as long as the thing is not 0. So 0 divided by 0 is undefined. Anything else divided by itself is 1. So as long as A does not equal 0, we're dividing a non-zero number by itself, we would get 1. So the only way both of these statements can be true at the same time is if A to the power of 0 is equal 1. So that is a proof because I didn't use specific numbers for A and B. I've shown it works for any value of A except 0. So when you're asked to prove something, you're basically just giving an argument that's flawless. It has no holes in it. So let's do another proof here. We're going to use the multiplication index law to prove that A to the power of B raised to the power of C gives A to the power of B times C. This is the power to a power rule. So how could we use the multiplication index law to get something that looks like this? So we know if we take A to the power of B and raise it to the power of C, the definition of powers is we're taking this and multiplying it by itself this many times, C times. So that will just be A to the power of B times by itself C times. So I can just write it like this. But the multiplication index law tells us if I'm going to multiply all of these together, I keep the same base and I just add the powers. So I'm adding B to itself, I'm adding that C times. If you add something to itself C times, that's the same as multiplying by C. If you add something to itself 5 times, that's the same as multiplying by 5. If you add something to itself 6 times, it's the same as multiplying by 6. So this will be A to the power of B added to itself C times is just B times C. And the proof is complete. All right, thank you so much for tuning into this video. This has been the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Have a great day.